There's one single build that works absolutely perfect for Blood Mage, the Sacrifice Detonate Dead Witch. This build takes your super high health skeletal broods and just has them VAM explode. And with a few tricks, we're not consuming their corpse, which allows us to explode one brood 5 or 6 times before he finally vanishes from the actual explosion. And since we're a Blood Mage, our critical strikes have a higher base critical strike chance, we get more critical strike damage bonus than ever, and our spells would cost life. But you can keep Detonate Dead as a rank 7 spell, and therefore it doesn't even cost any mana. And Detonate Dead right now is sitting at 53.25% critical hit chance. That's crazy. Now the big problem is you can't level with this build because Sacrifice is a level 14 skill gem and needs you to be level 58. No worries though, this guide will take you by the hand level 1 to 14, then from 14 to 58, which skill gems to pick at every single level and what to look out for that you can then transition smoothly into the Detonate Dead build. As a heads up, this build is solo self-found, as all my builds are solo self-found since that's how I enjoy the game the most. And the very interesting part is that you're not going to use your Ascendancy until you're level 58. I've been pretty much just having 1 point in here for 3% maximum life from level 22 to 58 on. Now what are we going to do in Act 1 from level 1 to 14? Because that is your first step. And this step is going to be a simple I am a warrior. What? Yes, it's the fastest way to go from level 1 to 14. You're going to grab yourself a two-handed mace and then just with simple mace strikes that get boosted by martial tempo for more attack speed and also rage to gain more rage on melee hit, simply obliterating bosses and opponents with auto attacks. And as your two actual skills, you will play Bone Shatter to explode any group of mobs, and also the Shockwave Totem for bonus damage. Bone Shatter will receive Impact Shockwave, and also the Execute for the bonus damage against low-life enemies to just do a even bigger explosion. And your Shockwave Totem will receive Lacerate to bleed your opponents, and you can also use Overpower for more stun build-up to get them easier primed for the Bone Shatter. This setup makes it so easy. Pick up armor pieces that have energy shield and armor, because well, you're still a witch, and that energy shield armor bonus combo makes you unstoppable. Zooming through and then auto attack, bone shatter, totem. You're gonna fly from level 1 to 14. In order to make this work with a passive tree, we're gonna start with a plus 10 energy shield. Then we straight away choose a strength node on the side so you can actually equip the bone shatter, the totem, and all that kind of stuff. We're moving up with the next 4 levels to then go into more strength, and strength. And as soon as you have the hooded one, you can just remove that point here to then really go over and choose the int or the strength as you need it, as you require it. Now you're going to keep doing this until level 14. As we're picking up here more skill speed to essentially hit faster, have our totem hit faster. And then the last skill point into dexterity. That should be roughly it until level 14. And that's where everything changes. You could technically play your warrior witch all the way to Act 3 cruel, but that's not really efficient because the monk side of the passive tree not really have what it takes to make the warrior witch feel incredible. But you know what would feel incredible? A monk witch, since monk is quite OP, which means as soon as you hit level 14, you're going to swap over your strength nodes to dexterity, keep as many strength as you need for your skill gems, and then we're kicking out the Bone Shatter and the Shockwave Totem straight away to replace them with Ice Strike and a Quarterstaff, and also the Tempest Bell. Then we'll take the Rage from before that we already have, and the Martial Tempo, and straight away move that over to the Ice Strike as our main damaging skill, and the Tempest Bell will receive Overabundance so we can make 2 of them, together with Persistence. And we haven't yet taken our Spirit skill, because with level 14 you already killed the King of the Mist, but you never spent that spirit gem. And we'll take Herald of Ice here. That Herald of Ice can straight away get this support gem Cold Infusion to deal more cold damage. And that trinity of skills will have you absolutely blast through every piece of content. Do you even know how broken Monk is? It's stupid. And you're now also perfectly in the Monk side of the skill tree. Our equipment will have to swap from armor and energy shield to evasion rating and energy shield. And in the passive tree, we can get ourselves more evasion rating and energy shield. We can move up to the side for more attack speed and attack damage, as we're always energy shielded up, and as we always get hit for even more attack speed. Reduce the skill cost somewhat to not just sip on potions like crazy. Then we can get even more energy shield and evasion rating. Sneak ourselves more dexterity to always have enough accuracy rating. Bonus freeze buildup and cold damage. Over here on the side, we got another boost into attack damage. Make sure that you mix the dexterity and the intelligence, that you always have enough dex intelligence mixed. And our main goal will be this ginormous crit cluster, which we'll have to move towards to. But don't forget to also pick up the resonance keystone for the combat frenzy later on. And then we're just going to yoink more crit, and also that point on the side, which then gets followed up down here with even more crit and even more crit damage. This is obviously very far in now towards the level 58, but I just wanted to spell out the pathing that you're doing. And interestingly enough, it's not much weaker than the actual monk. The biggest difference you have to the actual monk is that you don't have their ascendancy. You're not an invoker or an acolyte of Shayula. Your ascendancy is, well, yeah, you know? It gives you 3% more life, and that's about it. But since Monk works fantastic, if you have a strong quarterstaff, you'll just freeze everything, you destroy. Bosses are just going to fall in front of you. Nothing can pretty much hold you down. And you're just flying through the content towards that level 58. Nothing really changes into your skills. You stay with the Ice Strike and the Tempest Spell. I didn't even bother putting like a third support gem on them. One very important thing to not miss, and this is so important, please listen to me closely. Your first level 7 skill gem you're getting, you need to keep, because that one will be your Detonate Deed for level 58. Detonate Deed should never be above rank 7. As you hit Act 3 and you get another spirit ability, or as soon as you pick up 30 bonus spirit, you want to get yourself first Combat Frenzy, and you also want to get yourself Grim Feast. The Combat Frenzy is amazing. It gives you frenzy charges when you freeze your opponents, which would be useless. But since we have the Resonance Keystone, these frenzy charges will be turned into power charges. And with these power charges, we can then use the Charge Staff together with the Conduction support to have it shock more likely, which leads to bonus lightning damage on our Ice Strikes. Now we're going to Herald of Ice Explosion, Tempest Bell, lightning damage, Charge Staff together with the Grim Feast, restoring our Grim Remnants. This is absolutely brilliant. It requires you to have 90 spirit, which means you really want to look out for that bonus spirit chest or amulet. Now you can already play this with 60 spirit, and I recommend using Grim Feast for pushing towards a boss. And as soon as you are at a boss, you deactivate Grim Feast, and then you activate Combat Frenzy. Because Grim Feast is useless against bosses, as there are no adds to continuously produce the bonus Grim Remnants and refill your energy shield. But the Combat Frenzy will be useful to trigger your Charge Staff for more damage on the Tempest Bell, to then Ice Strike harder and destroy bosses easier. If you wish to, you can add a Primal Armament on your Ice Strike for even more damage, and your Tempest Bell receives heavy swings, making it deal more damage as well. Our final passive tree with a monk looks like this. We move over here to just pick ourselves up more dexterity notes, and then increased attack speed and skill cost reduction with even more energy shield and evasion rating, to then going upwards into the even more energy shield and evasion rating with another dexterity claim and evasion rating energy shield plus more evasion rating with maximum energy shield helmet. That's kind of like the final level 58 board that you'll then have to completely overwhelm as we're swapping over to Detonate Deed. And that will probably be the easiest playthrough you ever had from level 1 to 58. First as a warrior, then into a monk. And as soon as you have that level 58, you can then finally swap over to the Blood Mage Detonate Deed. For the Ascensions, I choose level 22 and level 38. It was quite simple. You don't have to do these Ascension at those levels because, frankly spoken, it is only 3% more maximum life. and otherwise it doesn't do anything. Now as we get to 58, it's time to throw things out again. The only thing that stays with us is Grim Feast. And you want your Detonate Deed level 7 skill gem that you kept from earlier. Let me iterate again why we wanted to have this be level 7. Because life remnants will have our spells cost an additional life cost. And currently my Detonate Deed costs 22 mana. But we'll obviously make it more expensive with support gems. But that would be 22 mana and 22 life. If we now increase the level, it's going to be 56, 60 mana. And then with 100% more cost and 150% more cost, suddenly you're going to pay 200 life per Detonate Deed instead of 50 life per Detonate Deed. That makes a big difference. Your Detonate Deed will receive Spell Echo. That's amazing. Your explosion pretty much just explodes another time, going for double damage. With Corpse Conservation, you're going to keep the corpse more likely from the explosion. And with Magnified Effect, you have a bigger area of effect. Lastly, we're playing Ambush for 100% more critical hit chance against enemies that are in full life. And we have 53.35% hit chance, which will be then 100% increased. Therefore, whenever we meet someone new, fresh off the press, he's just going to get exploded into oblivion. Your second spirit ability will be the Sacrifice that has us play Grim Feast and Sacrifice together. And then for minions, you want the Skeletal Clerics to revive your Skeletal Brutes. And the Skeletal Brutes is the absolute HP monsters. Here, we do want to quality up the Skeletal Brute gem as quick as possible, because with 20% quality, your minions have 20% more maximum life. That's so important for the brutes. With Meat Shield, they have even more life, and that's tons. Then Minion Mastery gives them 1 level, and Physical Mastery gives them another level. More levels, more life. Your Skeletal Clerics are getting Arcane Tempo. They cast faster, and Ingenuity to reduce their cooldown that they can revive your Skeletal Brutes, because you're going to explode, corpse doesn't get used. You're going to explode, corpse gets used, but then the cleric just straight up revives them again. Your other cleric revives them again. Perfect. Right now I'm playing 3 clerics and 4 Skeletal Brutes. This will cost you a grand total of 80 spirit for the clerics and 46, 92, 138, 184 spirit for the Skeletal Brutes. The 3-4 seems to be working very well for me. Now what I've been thinking about to improve the damage further is adding the Archmage gem, because that would simply catapult my damage further forward. But I don't yet have the spirit for it. I would have to kick 1 cleric out and I would still be 2-3 spirit short. It's really hard to get the items in solo self-found to use the Archmage. Therefore, I tend to just summon another spirit and another cleric and just go with a 4-5 for the time being, as it's just simply more, and I really never ever run out of my skeletons. They're always there. But the plan would be to play 4-3 or 2-4 and ultimately get the Archmage activated for that damage boost. In order to get even more damage, I've been playing the Vulnerability Curse, which has hits against cursed enemies ignore 3,400 armor. And since Detonate Deed deals physical damage equal to 20% of the corpse's maximum life, that works perfect to just hurt them hard. With Heightened Curse to make it hurt harder, and also Persistence to have it last longer. And I would currently put another socket on it and play Inspiration, otherwise the skill costs 157 mana with another double multiplier on. It's going to soak away 300 HP straight away when you cast it. With Inspiration, it's not that bad, and you're not just soaking yourself empty. Okay, for Detonate Deed, let's reset the whole thing. Stuff will look a bit different. We're still taking the maximum energy shield on this side. Then we'll get the increased cast speed and also the bonus spell damage to create the maximum minion life. More minion life, more boom. Therefore, take the maximum minion life here on this side too. We don't really care for the revive faster. Then we're going through the middle because we gotta boost our critical strike. Yes, you want the critical strike to go crazy. And we're picking up mostly intelligence nodes. Keep in mind to mix and match as you need then more strength to actually wield your wands, and some dexterity for the respective skill gems. Straight up to the right for more minion life, minion life, minion life, minion life. We're not taking this one. We don't want them to revive faster. We don't need this. You can go down here on the side to pick yourself up tons of critical strike chance, because we want to hit harder, because we want to crit more often, And we'll also take the bonus energy shield at this side. That gets us further up through the middle, taking the critical spell damage bonus, and even more critical hit chance. Thank you very much. Upwards and onwards through the middle to the left side, because on the left side, we're going to be taking ourselves even more maximum minion life, maximum minion life, maximum minion life, maximum minion life, and maximum minion life, which has us go further over the left. And yes, here we are also taking even more maximum minion life. You notice this is the most important points to take. You want that maximum minion life early. This is roughly how it's going to look with level 58. Not done though. You have more points to spend, which will have us go over the right side in the middle here, mainly to pick up this jewel socket. You want to get as many jewel sockets as possible, as we're looking for jewels with maximum life for minions. That's another 6% plus. That would be another 9% plus. That would be another 11% plus. And it can go up to 15% on these. There's so much maximum minion life that you can get that you really want to unlock as many jewels as possible. I'm lacking up here another one. I could take another one there. There's so much more to take. That gets us over into the right side then furthermore to increased damage if you consumed a corpse recently, but also chance to not destroy a corpse, chance to not destroy a corpse, and chance to not destroy a corpse, as we don't always want to explode our broods with every Detonate Dead. We want them to actually stand there. We want to explode a brood 3, 4, 5 times. Now we're going to go up, more minion life, then to the side to pick ourselves crit hit, and crit hit. That's huge. Which brings us over to the left, because we can take another gem there, and then take even more crit damage bonus, and even more critical strike damage bonus. Huge. And as you're on this side, you could also take more energy shield, and also maximum energy shield if you so wish to. And then on the right side from the consume no corpse board, we'll move further downwards to take the most amazing critical hit damage, super wombo combo explosion node. And this is how we'll look around level 17, granting you that total of 53.25% critical hit chance and the 250% bonus. That 250% bonus is not accurate because we obviously take with our Ascendancy the more life, the life remnants, then the more hit chance, and you get the increased critical strike damage bonus per 40 life. And right now I have 1,215 life divided by 40. So that should increase my critical strike damage bonus by 30. But that doesn't show in your stat sheet for some reason. The last 2 points are spent for more hit chance and then to increase the base critical hit chance. And that's crazy because if the base critical hit chance is 15 instead of 8%, then the 12% is another 1.12 on 15. And that's already an increase of 1.8. Instead of 8% times 1.12. That's a minimal, a meager, a tiny, an absolute non-mattering increase kinda. But the higher the base, the better it is. Before ascending a third time with level 66, I was sitting at 27.5%. 27.5, it pretty much doubled. For equipment, there's a few key pieces that can make it better. I am playing the Volatile Wand and Azun's Charge, which has 25% chance to not destroy a corpse when consuming a corpse. Now, you do not need this, but it helps immense to streamline it further. I do have 5 brutes and 4 clerics, but I don't need the 5 brutes and 4 clerics. Currently, I'm playing also the Pilgrim's Vestment for another 100 spirit. Again, that plus 100 spirit is not needed. A normal 40 spirit chest would do the trick to have me sit at 4 brutes and 3 clerics. I don't need to have the vestment. What you want to have though is an amulet with spirit 2 and level 2 minion skills. That's amazing. Spirit and level 2 minion skills will help you so much. Your helmet should also have level 2 minion skills, because more level 2 minion skills means automatically more life for your brutes. Mine are sitting at 25,000, but you can bring them up to 40,000. And 40,000 life times 0.2% is 8,000 damage per Detonate Dead. But it's not 8,000 damage because you're playing Spell Echo, which has your spell cast twice, so it's 16,000 damage, but it's also not 16,000 damage because you get that 53% critical strike chance, with the critical strike damage bonus that gets multiplied up further upwards. So you're doing so much more damage with every single explosion. The rest of my gear is simple: energy shield, energy shield, energy shield. Just get the energy shield up, and you obviously do want a scepter then in your offhand with the most amount of increased spirit possible to get yourself more spirit. 52% is not even a lot. I think it goes up to 70% bonus possible spirit, which would allow me to later play Archmage, and then with tons of mana, like 2000 mana plus, you just add very nice bonus damage. But that will be for guide number 2, as we then go over to the possible cast on crit, Archmage, maybe even Tempest. But the version like this is incredible. We're just blasting our way through maps. We didn't hit anything that would kind of slow us down. Bosses don't really feel like a challenge, as you just crit them out of your way with this high increased critical strike chance. Make sure to simply ascend a third time as fast as possible. I did a tier 69. I did a level 69 Trials of Sekimas with level 66, and it worked tremendously well. Now go out there, blow everything into pieces, and here are more tips for your Path of Exile journey that will help you ascend easier and have a better end game. Enjoy and have a fantastic good day.